Welcome back, everyone. It's Evanhusa57 here. We're back on Destiny. I have the weekly Nightfall strike to do. This is a level 30 strike, and this will be the Archon Priest, so it's the same as the Winter's Run strike. Kind of a little bit of an oddity here in the fact that we have all three Elemental Burn skulls on, and then the Nightfall skull on, so gonna go ahead and get this party started. I'm using my level 32 Warlock. I'll be using Sunsinger with self-revive in case it's needed, but since all elemental burns are on, you can kind of play around with what weapons you want to have. It's pretty easy to do that way, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually get set up here, take the Icebreaker as my basically as my exotic, and then that'll make life easier. So they did patch the old glitch spot for the Archon Priest underneath the stairs of the platform. You can no longer stand there. Not really a big deal because there's an alternate method to do it. This week it's actually pretty darn easy to do this, mainly because of the fact that all elemental burn is on. You do kind of have to be careful if you're level 30, even a level 31, because the hobgoblins can insta-kill you. Bear that in mind when you go and try and do this. So I'm pretty much going to skip past these guys in the beginning, since it is nightfall, but it's not in a darkness area. So since you can actually respawn, it doesn't matter too much if I die. And I have my flame shield melee, so if you don't have a melee that gives you a shield, you might want to kill those guys, but other than that, there's really no point in killing them, except for maybe the chance of getting some heavy weapon ammo. In this case, I'll be using my Oversoul Edict, so a primary weapon that does arc damage. You could use really whatever primary weapon you want. As long as it does an elemental damage, it would be a bonus. Just keep in mind that every enemy you encounter in this is going to deal bonus damage to you, because it doesn't matter what elemental damage they do, they're doing bonus damage. So kind of a double-edged sword with the whole all burns active. There's those hobgoblin snipers I was talking about. Those are really annoying. They do enough damage to just about kill you in one hit. So whenever possible, you do want to take them out as quickly as possible. Make them your first priority. I'm going to try and take out this other hobgoblin. The regular goblins aren't too much of a big deal. It's kind of why I have Icebreaker equipped, since it regens ammo. Also, the Oversoul Edict has an abundant supply of ammo, so I use that. Get rid of the other hobgoblin. You gotta watch out for this Hydra right here, because he does void damage. Void burns active, and the Hydra has quite a bit of blast radius, so area of effect damage. But Icebreaker allows you to pretty much get rid of him really quick. Once he's down, you can easily come out. If you're not using an Icebreaker, you can pick up that ammo there. Pretty much come over here when you're out of range of the hobgoblins. Take out the hobgoblins, maybe the regular goblins, depending on what sniper you're using. Careful, there's normally a captain right around this corner. Sometimes the Vex will go ahead and kill him for you, which in this case they did. Kind of makes life a lot easier. If you take your time in that beginning part, you'll have the Vex kill some of the Fallen, and the Fallen will kill some of the Vex, so you have less enemies to deal with, which is always helpful.
If the Fallen are already fighting off Vex,
pretty much, basically, you just need a decent sniper for this. If you don't have a decent sniper, and then for the last part, you're going to need a rocket launcher. You could use heavy machine gun, but heavy machine gun's a little annoying. Basically, I'm going to stay up here and eliminate most of these enemies, so take out the goblins that are right below you first. There'll be 4 of them right there. They're really easy to deal with. And then of course you have the dregs and captains all fighting each other, but there's hobgoblins off to the left. You want to prioritize the hobgoblins, mainly because they're the highest damage dealing enemy at the moment. And then just take out whatever else presents itself. If you're using the sniper rifle that I'm using, like the icebreaker, make sure you have a few rounds in it when you go to take on these minotaurs, because you do 50% the damage you normally would when you hit an elemental shield with the improper element. And then watch out, because those hobgoblins on the left will kill you very quickly. Once most of the enemies have killed each other, you do have to kind of hop down here and try and find like the last 1 or 2 that might be left. I did get a couple rocket rounds, so that's good. That'll help out later. I will switch to Gallahorn for the last part, which I do recommend that you have a Gallahorn. If you haven't gotten one, something like the Hunger of Crota would work well for you. Or you could use Heathen Vengeance, or pretty much any other rocket. Truth works really good, especially against these minotaurs, since it does void damage. So I'm going to back off, back all the way up, back on top of this cliff. Pretty much out of range of just about everything other than the hydras. And basically you're just going to snipe everything. The only thing you have to worry about are the hobgoblins, because they will just about insta-kill you. So whenever you see a hobgoblin, you want to go ahead and shoot them. If you can land a critical hit, see, I just got hit by a hobgoblin, and even though I'm level 32, it took out all of my health. That's why you have to be very, very careful with them. If you can't hit a critical, just go ahead and hit them, so that they go into their little stasis shield and basically they don't shoot you for a few seconds. That's always helpful. Ignore the minotaurs. Minotaurs are not really a problem right now. They're the least of your concern. Your biggest concern should be on the hobgoblins. Once they're dead, you can kind of use whatever you want on the minotaurs. As you've seen, that Hunger of Crota rocket really did a number on them. But then I'll switch back to Icebreaker to deal with them. Icebreaker does a lot of damage, or you can use rockets if you have rockets. You could also try and use Black Hammer. Black Hammer is a good sniper rifle, except for the fact that you can't land critical hits on these guys. So that can be a bit of a problem. Try and force that Minotaur out of cover. Sometimes you do have to jump down, because the enemies will start kind of like walking towards this side, and they'll like hide up against the cliff. So basically you just like shoot them in the arm. Do be careful, because at this point they can shoot you. Technically you could move back to on top of that hill right now if you wanted to. Like that, I just took some pretty major damage there. But I got that one Axis Minotaur down to low health, so I want to kind of kill him off. And then target the next one. Use Icebreaker to take down his shields. And then I'll use my pulse rifle to finish him off. Now that it's spawning more hobgoblins, retreat. Since there's hobgoblins that spawn down to my left along that pathway. And of course they have yellow health bars. If you crouch down, it does help. They don't really see you as much. You know, they have less to hit, so that definitely helps out. See that you can see the hobgoblin there to my left. And there's 3 of them that spawn down there, so kind of keep an eye out. Yep, there's the other 2. And actually, yep, got all 3 of them with criticals. That's the best way to deal with them, if you can take them out in one hit. Icebreaker's really nice for this due to the fact that when you kill an enemy with it, they explode. So, like the little goblins, if they cluster up, you can take out multiple ones with a single shot. Still have 1 more hobgoblin left. Oh, yep, still 1. Hopefully, he's at a bad angle to get a critical on. Oh, I did get a critical. Alright, last one is going to be these little annoying hydras. They're not really too bad if you get critical hits on them, but the fact that they have that shield that comes around them is kind of annoying in that it prevents you from getting a lot of criticals. But since you're standing up here, that's another reason why I like this spot. They don't really shoot at you, and it basically means that you can shoot over their shield. And since you can shoot over their shield, you basically don't really have to worry about, waiting for it to spin around. 1 more hit and he'll be dead. Alright, so pretty much from this point on, I'm going to actually switch weapons here in a second. I'm going to wait for my icebreaker to recharge at 6 rounds of ammunition, which is a common tactic that you use to get ammo for special weapons. Switch to my Oversoul Edict and use my Oversoul Edict to deal with these harpies. Since harpies have a arc shield and this weapon does arc damage, it definitely works out very well. Now I'm going to back up just a little bit so I don't get hit by the next wave of harpies, and then switch to my Black Hammer, which will be my boss kill weapon. And this way I can put on Gallahorn. So those harpies will leave me alone for a second. Switch from Icebreaker to Black Hammer and Hunger of Crota to the Gallahorn. Since Gallahorn is pretty much the absolute strongest weapon in the game, I've got 7 shots for my Black Hammer. Since Icebreaker regens ammo, that's one way you can get more ammo. Pretty much everything is dead. Take a quick look down here just to see if anything dropped heavy ammo. For some reason they normally don't. At least for me, I don't seem to get heavy ammo from them unless you're a Titan or you have a piece of armor that allows you to get more heavy ammo. Makes it a more common drop, which is kind of useful for this, or just bring ammo synthesis with you. At this point, I'll actually go ahead and use an ammo synthesis. I have plenty at the moment, so this way I have full ammo, and I've reduced that cooldown time now. Now you can take a pike because, you have arc burn, so their cannons, those plasma cannons there, will do quite a bit of damage, but you have to be very careful at this point because you have those hobgoblins, and they will just about one-hit a pike. So you really don't want to go up against them with a pike, but they're pretty easy to get rid of with the Black Hammer. Once you get rid of those few little goblins with the Black Hammer, basically you're going to look out for the hobgoblins there to the left, which I'll actually take them out the same way as soon as I get a clear shot on them. Minotaurs don't shoot you this far back, so we don't have to really worry about them. Actually, I'm not even going to bother waiting. I'll just use a rocket. As you've seen, I did get hit by that one hobgoblin, and it took down a massive amount, pretty much killed me. Alright, now you want to basically thin out the damage on these enemies as far as the amount of damage that they can do to you. Normally, I would say just drive right past them, but in this case, they'll do so much damage so quickly that the vehicle that you're on will be destroyed, and then you'll have to, go back to orbit and restart this whole thing. This is where if you had truth would be very, very, very helpful, since it would pretty much one-hit these minotaurs. But for the most part, get by with what we have. Black hammer works real well. Go back, pick up my pike. There'll be one minotaur left, but we have a bunch of these harpy zealots. Again, they have an arc shield. That's why I'm on my pike, because it just shreds their shield. And there's that one minotaur there in the corner. Just dodge his attacks. Once his shield's down, the pike's plasma cannons really just shred him. Very easy. Now we'll have some more goblins in the next area, and of course the 2 hydras, which are very easy to deal with the sniper rifle, or you could use rockets if you don't have enough sniper rounds. I generally get rid of that little exploding thing right there, use the pike to get rid of the goblins, mainly because I just don't want extra crap shooting at me. And sometimes they'll drop you heavy ammo. Wait for his shield to spin away, and now I start using my black hammer, land those 3 criticals on him, and he's dead, and that didn't cost any ammo since all shots were critical hits. Watch out, there's a group of goblins to the right on top of that cliff, but I want to try and lure out this second hydra, who's actually going to hide there from me, so forget that. Use a rocket. Pretty much one rocket is enough to deal with everything up there, and that usually will draw the hydra out. Again, land 3 criticals. Didn't cost me any ammo whatsoever. Do be careful, they explode. I'll come in here, pick up the remaining heavy ammo. Go up here and get some more ammo. There we go. Takes a little bit longer to do it this way where you kill everything, but it's much safer considering that you'll have to back up from the final boss fight anyways, since there is really no glitch spot for you to stand. There's a couple spots that you can hide and you won't take much damage, but they can still shoot you. Again, I'll just hit that with Galahorn, and that eliminates that whole group with that Minotaur that you have to deal with. Possibly get rid of the Reaver Captain.
From the prison of elders.
Don't know if that killed him or not. Yes, it did. Galahorn is just like one of my favorite weapons in the game because it does such massive damage. Now basically you have a few dregs to worry about. And then of course the enemies that spawn in. Which will be Shanks. Shanks are really annoying. Shanks and dregs. As you can see, there's already Shanks and dregs. So what we're going to do is we're going to back up. Basically deal with the dregs. Watch out for the Vandal Sniper, because that Vandal Sniper will mess your day up. Watch out for their melee, since melee does arc damage and arc burn's active. It will just about kill you. You could use any grenade that does a DOT effect, a damage over time, would work to kind of keep them away from you a bit. But I'm using damaging grenades that don't do a DOT effect right now, so I'll just stick to killing them. The only thing that's a bit of a problem are those noble Shanks, since they do have a fire shield. They can be really annoying, but that's why you want a fire weapon. If you had the corrective measure, which is the scout rifle from the old Vault of Glass raid, that would be very helpful. I did this earlier with one of my friends who had that, and basically you just two-shot the little dregs. Watch out, because you hear that sonic boom and the ship comes in, that skiff. Make sure you stay back from it, because it will shoot you and it will pretty much one-hit you. Now, a neat thing you can do is drop a rocket in that whole mess of enemy usually does a fair bit of damage. Watch out for the Reaver captains. They have shrapnel launchers and their yellow health bars. So in this case, I'll use a second rocket just to get rid of both of them. That's why I used my ammo synthesis so early on. This way I would not have to worry about the cooldown time for using more ammo. Of course, there's that other Vandal, which has the line rifle. Not as deadly as a hobgoblin, but definitely something that you don't want to mess with down there on the ground. And of course he'll run back up to try and get back up there on his little sniper post. Get rid of him. Just trying to get rid of the shanks. Don't want to have to use a rocket, but if I have to use a rocket, I will. Because they don't really drop much heavy ammo. Another thing you can do is toss a couple grenades up in there. You'll generally get one or two of them with the grenade. Watch out for that shrapnel launcher. It does massive damage. You also have to be very careful about the Vandals with the just the regular rifle, because that rifle shoots a tracking projectile and will literally hit you around corners. So get rid of the dregs. They don't do much damage, but they're annoying. Captains are really annoying because they freaking teleport, and there's two captains up there, so you don't necessarily want to just jump up there. If you jump up there, you can kind of get yourself in a bit of a sticky situation between both captains. It looks like I'm going to have to, though. Again, use Galahorn. That pretty much just devastates them. Take out that shank, and I'm going to use another heavy ammo synthesis since they're not dropping any. But this time I'm saving my rounds for the actual Archon Priest. Get rid of that little exploding barrel ball thing that'll kill you if you get too close to it. Should be one captain left. Just be careful. If you have an arc weapon, use that to drop his shields real quick. See what you can get for ammo here. That'll be the last enemy that you face. And then of course you have the release the Archon Priest, so make sure everything's reloaded, all your weapons, your rockets. Basically, I'm just going to bombard them with rockets to start. So you'll run up here and activate it. And then basically head back to right about here is a pretty good place to stand, since we'll be going back up there. And you can, if you have rockets that lock on, you can go ahead and lock on to him as he's getting out. And then right about there, you can actually start to damage him. And you can generally get off your 2 rockets, reload, get off another 2 rockets, and then the High Servitor spawns. So you're going to fire 2 more rockets, and then you're going to run. And of course, there's your shanks, because you got shanks to deal with, and you'll have more dregs to deal with, and all that stuff. So that's why we get out of there after firing a maximum of 6 rockets. And then basically you just jump up here, and you'll kind of creep back down. In this case, I have my rocket ready because I have 1 more rocket. So you want to see where he is. And sometimes he does that where he spawns like literally right in your face. That's why you want to have self-revive if you do have that, because that shrapnel launcher does a massive amount of damage. Take advantage of your radiance if you do use it, or if you have like a Titan shield with something, you know, along the lines of Blessing of Light or Armor of Light. Definitely take advantage of that. And the first thing you want to do when you're presented the opportunity is get rid of that high servitor. Watch out, because he is very angry. That Archon Priest is not happy right now. Don't risk going too far out unless you do have the ability to self-revive. In this case, I don't have it recharged yet. And we have more shanks that spawn. Basically, you're just going to play hide and seek. Sometimes he will come down to you, and you can get a nice, you know, grenade hit on him, or a couple sniper rifles. That does a lot of damage to him. As you see him, we got him down way past half health right now with just those original rockets. I'm going to see where he is right now. Just try and get away from him, because like I showed you earlier, it only takes a couple hits from him to actually fuck you over. You can kind of jump up here on this rock. You don't really get a good shot on the Archon Priest, mainly because you have to deal with these Reaver Vandals there, and they have the line rifle. But this is another spot that you can kind of stand and start to clear things out a bit, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm starting to get rid of some of the shanks, and I want to get rid of that other noble Vandal. The Servitor is really annoying because it can hit you up here, since it has basically a area of effect damage. But sometimes you can get hits on the Archon Priest depending on where he backs up to. You just got to be very, very careful you don't take too much damage, because that shrapnel launcher will really fuck you over. Of course, you can get a good rocket on him. That always helps. Remember, you can easily fall off of that area, so you got to be able to get back up here. You always, whenever possible, want to try and take out the shanks that group up there. Anytime you take out an enemy, you know, it helps recharge your super. Plus, there's a chance that, you know, they'll drop you some heavy ammo. And the lower you get the Archon Priest's health, the more basically, it's not an enrage, but the angrier he gets, and they'll actually come to you here. So you do have to be very, very careful about risking going out there for any ammo that might be dropped on the ground. Sometimes you can get away with it, but sometimes you can't. So basically, I'll just grab that heavy ammo since it was right there at that corner. Make sure nothing's there. See if I can't get back up on this rock ledge. Now I just gotta wait for him to teleport kind of to an area that I can hit him. Careful with that Servitor. That Servitor is very annoying. And of course, more shanks will spawn. Get rid of that Vandal that I didn't have the chance to kill before. Some of the shanks can hit you depending on where you're standing here. If you shoot the Archon Priest in the head with a sniper rifle, you'll stagger him. So that's one tactic that can be used, is to actually stagger him with sniper rifle shots from something like the Black Hammer. Or in this case, you know, I got off 2 Galahorns on him. Be very, very careful. Those skiffs will respawn, and then you have to get out of there when they do. In this case, since we had more enemies spawn in, I'll use that heavy ammo again. You can do this a little bit faster if you're reckless, but I don't like to be reckless. I like to actually get it done first try. And like right there, that's the Reaver captain that was dropped off there by that skiff. I generally like to toss grenades just to see what's out there on that corner. Not really afraid of much other than Reaver Vandal snipers, which in this case, yep, the Reaver Vandals are back. So I kind of have to waste a rocket, which it's not really a waste since that's the only real enemy that can kill you right now in this spot. That and the Servitor. Actually, I might put a rocket on that Servitor there just to kind of get him out of the picture. And I'm just waiting on the Archon Priest to move a bit. Might be able to hit him with the grenade, see where that goes. Yep, there he moved. Hit him again with Galahorn, and he's down. Still have to be careful because there can still be a few enemies left at this point. Generally, they'll all be despawned by now, and when that little timer comes up, they definitely all disappear. And then you just wait your 30 seconds for the loot. So very easy to do. It takes longer to do it that way since unfortunately, as you can see right now, you can't get under these stairs anymore. There is no way to get under there. So that little glitch spot can no longer be used. But if you do it the way that I showed you, it goes by pretty quick, pretty easy. And hopefully by now, you know, you have a Galahorn, or you could use Hunger or Crota or any other weapon, and then you'd get your reward. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, post a comment, give the video a like, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thanks for watching.